Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Point of View. We're here to catch you up on everything trending on your timelines. Coming up on today's show, we are talking about the executive director of Black Lives Matter, Oklahoma City, who has been charged with embezzling over $3.1 million. Plus, T.I. is opening up about why he feels like church is a business, even comparing it to a Broadway show. Plus, don't miss Girlfriend's Guide and Mind, Body, and Soul with our co-hosts, Sunset and Crystal. Hey. And our host, Natalia. And they're here to help us break it all down. So pull up a seat, join the discussion. You're watching POV. The executive director of Black Lives Matter, Oklahoma City, Tashella Sherry Amore Dickerson, is facing federal charges for allegedly embezzling over $3.1 million meant for social justice work. From luxury travel and shopping to 6 properties and $50,000 in groceries for herself and her kids, prosecutors say the funds were completely misused. The question everyone's asking, how can movements built on justice protect themselves? And how does this affect trust in nonprofits? I would first like to say that it's just an indictment. It's not a verdict, y'all. It's an indictment. It's just one person at one location, and Black Lives Matters is a national organization, so it's just one place.
But this isn't the first time, though.
Okay, but it shouldn't diminish the fight. It's still a fight against social injustice. So I don't think it should diminish that.
I completely agree with you, Raquel. I think the main point, as humans, I just want to bring us back to humanity. Mm-hmm. We need to understand that 2 things can be true. Mm-hmm. Yes, she could have done this, but yes, Black lives still does matter. It's like we still have to be in a state where we can hold people accountable. Just because they have these titles does not mean they're above reproach, does not mean they're above correction. So if she did that, allegedly that's what is happening, right? Does that mean Black lives don't matter? Does that mean we spent years putting dollars, putting our access, our resources into this movement, and it invalidates the work that all these people, thousands of people have been doing? Absolutely not. It doesn't. One person's mishaps does not serve as a ground for disrupting an entire movement. I just don't like that we as a community do that. And I think we just need to bring it back to humanism. As a human, I can make a mistake. That does not mean it invalidates everything that has been going on in the organization.
One person, one chapter.
But my thought on it is, yes, we're going to bring back the human in it, but you have to also remember that this is an organization and you should have stood on your morals and ethics from the beginning. If you're going to represent something that is bigger than you, that represents all of us as African Americans, remember that you are on a pedestal and you are not excluded from being in a situation where it's a situation. So just don't do it. You know they're watching you. You know you're a nonprofit. You are not excluded from being audited in any way, shape, or form because you guys are a nonprofit. You already know that we're under scrutiny as African Americans in everything that we do. So why put yourself in the position to now be here? That is the problem.
And I completely wish that maybe instead of it being the Black Lives Matter movement, that maybe it was something like the Fight for Equality movement.
Right.
Literally, you
I
know,
can agree.
because it's like, with taking on a name so big in a time that, like, we're really trying to move forward and be conscious in this time. It's just like, come on, man. Like, we got to do better. And even though it's just one person, the movement was too big, you know what I'm saying, for it just to be, this is a Black Lives Matter movement. This isn't take your dog to the park tomorrow.
I agree.
Well, I think in that case, that's where people of the organization of Black Lives Matter, let's say other presidents, because like Raquel say, is just one part of it. Everybody else should be speaking up about it to reassure the audience and the public that, hey, she may have done this, but that doesn't exempt all the work we've been doing on the side. Here's what we have been doing. Here's what some of the organization has been accomplishing in the background. So that way it shed more light on what we're actually doing versus us bringing so much scrutiny to just this part of the issue. Like, this is just one person, but there's so many other things happening in the movement that is working towards helping our community.
And that's why I wanted to make sure that we understand it is not a verdict.
Yeah.
It's an indictment. The judge just feels like this is something that should be looked at. But if it comes out to be true, I mean, we just cannot diminish the movement.
Yeah.
It cannot be diminished.
I agree, but what you keep soaking on is it's just one person. It's this, it's that. It's a crime.
It is
You are
crime,
a nonprofit.
no doubt.
This is what causes us as African Americans who already have problems with trust to continue to trust.
Yeah.
Because this is not one time with Black Lives Matter. This is actually the second, if I'm not mistaken, the third time that this has happened in different chapters of Black Lives Matter. So you keep putting yourselves in positions of negative narratives that have now skewed the movement.
Yeah.
You should have thought of that from the beginning. Okay? Period. There's no, what is wrong is wrong. You're grown.
But
You
this
know the
happens
difference.
in many organizations.
It does.
So it's not
It
like,
does, but we're
let's
not
just
just
put the
saying
light
that it's
here.
just this.
Right.
It has happened in many organizations,
Yeah.
but the conversation is about this organization.
Yes.
And while I'm an African American, you have to understand that we are already under a microscope. Just don't do it. If you knew that you needed help, you could have done this in so many other ways before this became a problem. You allowed it to become a problem because you got comfortable with knowing that you're not being watched by the other members.
That's
of
where
Black
I'm
Lives
going
Matter.
with it. I'm like, what happened with the board members that are supposed to be having some type of accountability
Yeah.
here? You shouldn't be able to
Why wasn't it being
embezzle
tracked?
or
Why?
steal or siphon $3.1 million and $50,000 on grocery delivery.
We don't know what was happening. We
And
don't
that's
say
the
that.
big
And it's
one.
not, and let's be honest
Yeah,
here.
we can't
This
say that.
this 3.1 is not one person. Okay? It's one person that took the fall. But this is not a one person problem. Anytime that there is a big problem at the head, there are little people below them. You could not have pulled this off. If you did, again, you have not been guilty. You're not found guilty.
Yeah.
But there's more than one under you. You just took the fall for it.
Yeah. There is so much more to unpack here. We will be back following up on this case. Moving on to the next topic, rapper T.I. is sparking controversy. After sitting down with Kirk Franklin on the Den of Kings show, he opened up about why he feels church today is more like a business, even going as far as to compare it to a Broadway show. Reactions online have been mixed, with some agreeing while others are calling it disrespectful. Let's take a closer look and break down what T.I. really meant and why this conversation has people talking.
I just ain't never felt the connection with church.
Why?
Man, I don't think it real. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a business just like anything else, and it's a show just like anything else. You know what I mean? Just like you go to Broadway, you see a show. I feel like it's just like somebody standing up and public speaking, just like you get like a TED talk. And a lot of times they be putting a lot of cap on it. And when I say cap, I'm saying cap in their action. The word is the word, but sometimes they try and twist the word, make the word mean something, that will be personally benefiting to them.
Well, those
He has a
were
point.
actually my sentiments exactly. I do think the word is the word, but I feel like there's a lot of histrionics surrounding on the delivery in how the pastors or people, just like we was talking about, who are at the head of these organizations, their delivery sometimes is so much histrionics behind it that you miss the message. It's like, what are we actually trying to do here? Are we trying to get people closer to God? Which is why I'm big on spirituality and not religion. Religion blinds me because I'm missing the message all the time with the delivery of things. So for me, I do not go to church. My relationship with God is based on my relationship with him, talking to him, understanding him, trying to live the way in which he lived. So I don't need to go to church to validate my experience with him. And I think that's what T.I. was really trying to say. Like, people need to go back to what is your relationship here with God, and not more so how do you show up in society for him. That's what I'll say.
So I get that, and I understand your sentiments, and that is a popular way that people feel, and because a lot of it, church has become like a show, and for a lot of pastors in the prosperity preaching, it is a business. But I think that the main thing that people miss when we talk about church is that the church is supposed to be a people. It's supposed to be us individually and collectively, not a place. And so, it's happened that the building is now a business. It has bills, all these things, and then people have their own agendas. But ultimately, the Bible says that God is coming back for a church without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. And that is not a place, but other than it being a place inside of us. But I don't know. I kind of feel mixed about what T.I. was saying, simply because I get it. But I just feel like right now, people need God so much. Like, we are really living in godless times, that I feel like people that maybe have not sought God for themselves, or don't have a personal relationship, or don't know how to hear him at all, they will take this and use it to pacify what they're already feeling, and not go further to seek out a personal relationship with God wherever it's at.
It's definitely about a personal relationship. And I do think that that's missed, because we get the perspective from the pastors, the minister, whatever, but it's about also taking that, what you learned that day, if, they did talk about a scripture, and then going there and reading that. What does it mean to you? What is God saying to you? And that's you allowing that Holy Spirit to come into you so he can guide you into that word so you can understand that. And I think a lot of times we miss that. I mean, I'm talking about it on my podcast, Planet Rock, Planet ROQ, podcast.com, but I am talking about it because a lot of people have had church hurt. And it's like, we want to heal people. We want you to know that going to God doesn't necessarily mean that building, although we must fellowship with other believers. But it's also about that personal relationship and what God is speaking to you, to your heart. We have to take a quick commercial break. Next up, women in their 40s are dating younger men more than ever. Don't go anywhere. Girlfriend's Guide is coming up. You're watching POV. Welcome back. Now it's time to get into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. Okay, so in Girlfriend's Guide, more women in their 40s are dating younger men more than ever. Why? Women in midlife are more confident, independent, and emotionally self-aware. They're setting boundaries, knowing what they want and refusing to settle. And younger men, they're often more flexible, open to communication, and not intimidated by a woman's success. So, does age even matter if the connection, values, and emotional maturity line up?
Age will always matter.
Okay.
Let's make sure it's
Let's
legal.
talk men here.
Age
We're
will
talking
always
about men
matter.
here.
Okay.
But let's be clear. Age will always matter, guys.
Right.
We need to be of sound age where we can make these decisions. So for me particularly, you got to be up there in the 20s. Like, I get it where we're trying to say age, but I don't want to play with that. You know what I mean? Because in the day and age where we live in, where people are hounding on children, it's very, like, you got to be very careful with that. For me, I just think that we need to be direct when we say what age matters. I think 25 and up, right? You can make decisions no matter what age it is. But under that, you're playing with kids. That's my
Yeah, 25 and up, honey. I got sisters 25, honey. And I see the young men that they are dating, baby, and it's nothing to write home about. If anything, baby, call the daycare center and ask them, did one of the kids get away?
Exactly.
Okay, because these young men are boys. So I'm a little bit, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I can't imagine I'll be 40, God willing, in 2 years. And it's just like, going down, like, thinking about men my age and where some of them are, to go any lower than that, like, I mean, and they say these younger men are flexible, of course, but it seems like, how flexible you want them to be? Like, do you want to mold them? Do you want to raise another kid? I'm not.
Uh-oh.
Well, it depends.
Okay, so here's my take on it. When I was reading this whole topic here, AARP did a poll, right? And AARP said about 34% of women over 40 are dating men at least 10 plus years younger than them. Now, I want y'all to do this because this is how I think.
Okay.
If I'm 41 years old, I'm 39 right now, but I'm going into my 40s. 41 years old, and I'm dating a man that's 10 years younger than me. Now, when I was 21 years old, how old was this man?
10 years younger than you?
Yeah.
10 years
11.
younger than me. You were 11. So right now you're telling me that as an adult, you're okay with dating a man with this big of a gap. Because there's still a gap no matter what. If you died today, he's still 10 years younger than you. So where does this make sense? Where do we draw the line here and say that's just nasty? Secondly, number two, if you're dating a man 10 years younger than you and you are a mom, my daughter is 18 and I'm 39. That's my oldest. If I'm dating a man that's 12 years younger than me, I'm now dating my child. That's okay.
Are you saying, is it okay for women? It seems to be okay for men. Or is it not
No,
okay
it's
for
not
either?
okay for men because
Okay.
men date women that are younger because they want control. Let's be
Oh, is that
forward
why?
here. That is why.
That's
You
why,
want to
y'all.
feel like you have control.
Okay.
Like you have more knowledge than her, you're smarter than her, and let's be honest, younger girls date older men not because they're cute, but because they got money. So that's the reason why they correlate together.
Okay.
Younger men date older women because me personally, I feel like you have mommy issues.
Oh.
Okay? Because there's no reason why you need a woman that age. Why? Tell me why. What is it that she's going to give you other than what she's going to give you? That's really all there is to me.
I think maybe women, once they kind of cross the threshold of 40, if they're taking care of themselves or if they feel youthful, they think that they look younger or they want to feel younger,
Youthful.
then maybe they, go down a little bit because they want to, like still feel like they're young or that they're not, they're not embracing aging.
Men?
Women.
No, they're not embracing
Women.
aging themselves. You know what I'm saying? So now they're trying to kind of like get back in that youthful gap, which I don't know if that's how it works, but I think that maybe that's part of it.
I want y'all to think about this. A younger man dating an older woman. If that man is in his 20s, a woman who's crossing into her 40s, you're dating a man in his 20s. He don't even know that his breath stinks yet. Like, he is still a child.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
For real. Hold on. No, seriously.
Depends on who you're talking to.
No.
It does.
Men in their early 20s are still children. It's not until they're approaching the 30s that they look at life different and say, dang, what did I really do in life? or life is about to start for me. I have to figure this out.
So listen, I'm 37 right now. How would you guys feel if I came to you and told you that I'm dating someone that's 27 years old?
I wouldn't feel no way.
I wouldn't
feel
because
no way.
you haven't crushed 40 yet, dating
No.
someone in their 20s.
I think to
There's a
me
big
it
gap
matters
there.
about the person though. We keep talking about, stigmas. I heard a lot of conversation, but it's all about stigmas of what we're thinking the person attribute is, where their mental is. I've met a lot of young women and I've met a lot of young men that at their early ages, they're very much more mature than the people in their group. So
Mostly
I was
women,
one of
though.
them. No, I know that, but I have met the men. I can't take their experience out of the conversation because I have met the 20-year-old man that's so mature and all the women around him are like not ready for what
His
he
mama
has to
probably
offer.
was 75.
Right.
That's great.
I'm just
You probably one of them old babies.
I don't want to
Seriously.
take those kind of men out of the conversations because they do exist. And so I think it just depends on the individual. If the man is a mature man, he got his career together. And right now in this society, a lot of these young men, they are way more financially stable than the men that we had coming up. So a lot of times I have met them younger with more established businesses, with more established mindsets, and the people in their age groups are just not where they need to be. So even me saying, oh, that's crazy. Now I'm like, oh, well, I might.
No, baby, no.
Are we focused-
You ain't seen enough seasons change for me, baby.
Are we focused more on age than the compatibility?
That's
Because
what I'm
that's
saying.
what it
How
is.
is there
It is
compatibility?
compatibility.
If everything in life, yes, age is a number, but everything in life comes from experience. What have you experienced at 25 that I have not experienced already 3 times
But
over?
we,
That's
but,
what-
but we
you
already
see what
went
you
to
said?
25. When
No.
we said 40, I never even
Exactly.
thought 25. I thought maybe they're 35.
Girl,
No, but
no,
25
they're in their
25 too,
20s.
but just like Crystal, you just said the very thing that I'm talking about. You said experience. By the time I was 21, I experienced things that people in their 30s and 40s was experiencing.
But that's as a
A
woman.
man too, but that's
As
what
a
I'm saying.
woman.
I've met men that literally experience things at an early age and they're not part of the conversation because they're like, well, people don't usually talk about that because they're a man. So that's why I said, you just said it, it's experience. If that man has experienced so much and he's only 20, he's already like, look, I'm cool on all of that. I'm ready to do X, Y, Z, and I know exactly what I want. I've met those kind of men. So that's what I'm saying. It really just depends on
Younger men,
compatibility,
that's the experience.
yes,
I'll leave it
and
there.
experience.
Yeah, I think what I'm thinking about is the fact that if you are a woman in your 40s, or so let's say you're 40, and now your age range is 28, 30, for who you would want to date. And we talk about how bad the dating pool is. So now if you're out here having to date 28, no, not him, 28, not him. Baby, this is a daycare.
Who is
But you're
intentionally?
putting a lot of
I don't think nobody's
experience.
intentionally
You're
doing
putting a
that.
lot
I
of
think it just
experience
so
on age.
happens to be the age thing. I don't think people are intentionally going after those people with those
They
ages.
are
Yes,
the
they
same
are.
way they're intentionally
Yes, they
going
are.
after
That's why they call
women.
them cougars.
Not
Yeah.
everyone
You're
is
hunting
in-
them.
But that's what I'm saying. We're talking about a linear part of that
They are
conversation.
cougars
There's
for a
people that are
reason.
not just intentionally around here saying only 28, only this. It just so happens to be.
You sound like you might be over to a younger man, honey.
I'm open to I'm really open to anybody. It's really compatibility for me. I'm not speaking for me. I just never want to take away the people that matter in the conversation because I am part of that. When I was young,
Yes.
I was way too mature for my age group. Way
Yeah.
too, and I have met men that feel the same way.
Well, I think we put a lot of experience on age because some people have experience, like you said, way more than others that may be in their 40s and 50s or whatever.
very true.
And this actually happens. So we're going to have to come back to that's a topic that goes on and on. And on.
I was ready to keep
We can live on
that topic.
We're going to switch gears and move on to our final segment of the day. Let's get into mind, body, and soul. Thank you, darlings. Up next, this one's raising some serious concerns. More than half of Gen Z are self-diagnosing mental health conditions based on what they see online. Social media is flooded with symptom checklists, personal stories, and advice that can influence even the most resilient minds. The problem, many young people are labeling themselves without ever consulting a professional, creating confusion, stress, and sometimes even fear over normal emotions. The big question is, are we raising a TikTok generation that they just choose to listen to what's on TikTok rather than professional therapists.
I think it's more about it's readily accessible.
Yeah.
It's in front of you and it's pushed. So if you have your phone in front of you, you're dealing with this emotion. The first thing that most of us are going to do before there was even AI, it was Google University. Oh my gosh, what is this? What is that? Now you have social media that we spend about 50% of our day on.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh man, that's how I feel. I don't think it's that they don't want to consult a professional, but it's so easy and so free and so cheap that it's right in front of them. And let's be honest, the world has put this there. These same therapists, all these people, they're also on social media.
Yep.
And this is why I would not be dating no man 10 years younger than me. I'm telling you.
Bring it back.
No, for real. When you think about it, it's like
God.
we came up with or had an understanding of our concept of success without really having access to social media and the internet. We were just kind of coming into the internet. So for these younger people that are living by this and TikTok and YouTube and all these things are telling them what success and life and love and happiness is, baby, I don't want none of that on my plate. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I think there's an overarching issue here too. Like Crystal said, I think it's being pushed in their faces more. It's like they don't have resources to go to, so the phone is right there and it's accessible. And you got to understand we're human, so people want to feel relatable. People want to feel like somebody understands me. So I don't think it's an overdiagnosis. Just like Crystal said again, we were going to Google and we thought anything we Googled, we were sick. We had cancer. We had AIDS. Everything we looked up on Google, we diagnosed ourselves. I don't think it's no different what they're going through. I think we're just ostracizing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, y'all, that's a wrap for today's episode. We have some that we want to come back, some of these topics come back to talk about. Here's the quote for today. Taking care of your mind is just as brave as taking care of your body. We'll see you right here, weeknights, 7:30 p.m., right here only on Afro TV.